Hello, good morning. Welcome, chat. Thanks for joining. We have a short Zwift race this morning. Just a short one. Oh, I need my towel. It's a course we haven't done in a while, actually. It's New York, but it's the KOM after party. So we'll be finishing on the climb, which will be a couple of minutes long. But I think this is a course that I really personally enjoy. The New York terrain is very unpredictable. And to be honest, I'm finishing off quite an easy or lighter load training week this week. So I didn't want to do an event today that was going to be too long. And I didn't want to do one that would be too intense either. So I figured this one would be perfect. Not too long. Hopefully not too intense. Although the climb at the end will probably be intense, of course. It may require a bit of ed mode. But who knows. But at least, hopefully, it's short and sweet. And won't take up too much of our valuable holiday time. So welcome, chat. Welcome. Morning, Emma. Morning, Sean, Camille. My power meter seems to be low on battery. Or actually might be out of battery. Judging by the fact it's not picking up. I may need to put another order in of the CR2032 coin cell batteries. That'll be on my to-do list now this afternoon. Right then, let's get this show on the road. Thanks for tuning in so early, folks. Like I said, nice and sweet, short and sweet, this race. And we'll get it done. We'll get it done. Might be some familiar faces in here, I hope. Let's go. Ooh, relatively small group. Although, actually a nice size. It's like a large breakaway size. I try and practice some drafting. in a group like this. Oh, it's getting strung out. Not sure if there's any power-ups in this race, but we will see. Okay, let's get down low power. How low can we go? How low can we go? Down 1 watt per kilo. Sticking in the draft. $35k. This should be less than an hour. This race. It's quite rolling, but generally speaking, it's quite a fast course, especially in a group. I would say of this size, where the blob is still gonna be rolling through nicely. Ooh, it's cheeky though, because it does line out. Hey, thanks for the ride on, Nick. This is one of the harder ways around, I would have said. Coming this way on this road is quite tricky. The ups and downs. They're a little bit more, a little bit harder than you always expect them to be, maybe. This is it's a decent group actually. I can see there's people certainly pushing on 5 watts per kilo, and the little bit of colour down there at the bottom of the screen, that shows the intensity. So the darker the colour, the red indicates quite a hard effort. We did have to respond to a surge that happened back there maybe about 5 minutes ago, or 3 minutes ago rather, 2 or 3 minutes ago. And that's and that was a decent move. The 3 riders just went a little bit off the front with maybe a second gap, and they were doing like 7 watts per kilo. So it's, I would say there's riders in here certainly with power, with power. Hey, good day, Kyle. How are you? How are you? I bet, yes. I bet. It is peak summer now. It's going to be warm. I don't know what it's like being with you, Emma. We've had like this thick fog, mist for the last like week. Everything's just grey. Everything is grey. Oh, Rob, you're asking a bit much here. Maybe 23 kilometer break. 25 is a bit long. Good morning, Sean. Thank you. Okay, we've got 30 kilometers to go. 29.9 now to be exact. Surfing. Like I said, if you just joined, I'm at the end of a slightly easier training week. So I wanted to come online and do a Zwift race, but I didn't want one that would be ideally super hard the whole time. I wanted one that was generally quite steady, and then, you know, wouldn't hurt if there was an effort in there somewhere. And this is an ideal one. The New York City KOM after party. We haven't done this in ages, and I actually really enjoy racing around here. And it's a good sized group for it. Nothing too big. So it's not really fast, so like when you get a big bunch sometimes and it's quite fast, it can be quite, you know, you have to keep the pressure on the pedals. Whereas with this size group, I'm kind of just riding to just try and stay in the group. Hey, good morning, Greg. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Okay, there's a move. There's a good, strong move.
orange numbers. Oh, catch another rider there. And a group this size as well, it's always a little bit easier to monitor what happens in the race, I think. You know, when you can actually see someone attack, and you can see who it is. You know, you don't have to be trying to stay near the front of a big group. You know, this group is only just barely big enough that all the names fit on the right hand side, so you can nearly always see everybody, which is nice. Okay, coming through the start finish banner. Oh, Kyle, you didn't have to rub it in. It's the type of weather lately where I clean my bike and then the next ride I'm having to clean it again. Okay, let's be careful. This could get a bit tasty. So if the pace drops, I'll cooperate. But it looks like everyone's happy to push it. That gap has come down a little bit. Looks like the bridge is going to be made. There we go. Grupo compacto, as we say. Just trying to minimize the effort I put out on this section. There's not many places where you can actually recover, to be fair, for a long period of time. You can get a couple of breaks here and there, but a little bit of uphill now coming up. Wow, Rob. Indoors or outdoors, 20,000 kilometers is a lot. Hats off. That's yeah, that's a lot. the festive 500 time of year certainly brings out the divided opinion on indoor versus outdoor riding, doesn't it? To be honest, it's all pedal revolutions. Yes, you might be going faster, but morning, Kev. How's the body? Well, from all of us here, Emma, we wish you all the best, and of course, we'd love to hear about your cycling as you get back to it. I was going to say, actually, before I was rudely interrupted by the hill, because the live streams, I notice, really do certainly relate to a certain population of cycling, and I've met people that watch my channel and they don't watch the live streams, they don't have any interest in Zwift or indoor riding, and I think likewise from the other side of the fence, there's folks out there who you know, are the other way around, so to speak. Yeah, to be honest, Kev, I know one of the guys I ride with quite regularly. Quite regularly? Which one works? Both of them work, I think. Which word works, I mean. The one of them's been ill for like 6 days, and he's only got like 22-year-old young lungs. So there's something going around. See you later, Charles. Ah, Rob. Yeah, yeah, 100%. The roads have only got busier, that's for sure. Or at least, you know, I know you're speaking from a different part of the world, but yeah, it's I can relate. To be honest, I think, you know, that's why, if I can help it, and I know I've got the flexibility to do it, and I know not everybody has, but riding after like 10 a.m, you know, avoiding peak times, and, you know, trying to ride places where I think the only people that be driving there are the locals, which I know, you know, it's not a given that you're still safe, but I think I'm kind of lucky in a way. You know, where we live, you know, Wales, once you get out in the sticks, it's, although, you know, of course, many of you are going to have similar areas like this as well, but once you get out in the sticks, it's rare that you see anybody for 3 hours. Yes, the valleys, the clue is in the name. But you're right, yeah, we've got cycle paths which really help, of course. To be honest, one thing, I didn't think about this until the other day actually, but you know, the cafe culture has grown quite a lot in my area, you know, and particularly cycling when we stop and you know, we have a coffee and what have you. I think it raises awareness in a way. There's a cafe around here that's it's set up mainly by motorbikers or motorbike riders then, but they welcome, you know, two-wheeled lovers, so obviously us, but they host like car meetups and things like that. And I think when we share the cafe, I think it's interesting how maybe the psychology of how they view us when we walk into a cafe in Lycra, you know, after doing some exercise, and do you know what I mean? I think the average person, I think there's a little bit of, I would hope there's a bit of respect there, that they see a cyclist coming in and it's like, oh wow, there's a cyclist, you know, like they've been out for a bike ride, you know, because I often see it with runners, of course, you know, and I have likewise a little bit of the same attitude. When I see runners out stopping at a cafe, it's like, you know, you've obviously done your run, and you know, stopping at the cafe, and it kind of bridges the gap, I think. I've 20-mile-an-hour speed limit. I don't think anybody does 20-mile-an-hour. To be honest, like, if I was to leave my GoPro running when I'm riding outside, the areas that are 20-mile-an-hour, yeah, I don't think, I think a lot of people have ignored it. You know, because most of the time I might be doing close to 20-mile-an-hour and they're overtaking me, but they feel like they have to overtake you because a cyclist is slow, or that type of mentality. Well, it definitely passes the time, Sean, I tell you that. You and me too, Greg. To be honest, Crank, in fairness, I only leave my helmet on in a cafe if it's wet or it's cold and like my bandana or like whatever under my helmet is wet. Like I wouldn't take stuff off if it's wet to then put it back on when it's cold. I would leave it on. And then it's the same, like if it's a quick cafe stop, I don't bother taking my helmet off. It's the same, when I go away, or like, you know, if it's somewhere warm, I always take my helmet off. I always feel like when you take a helmet off, it's like you're checking out, like you're finishing work, like that's your shift that's done. It's the same as like, when I used to race on UCI teams, we used to have a rider who always used to take his shoes off at a cafe. Just because like it was more of a mental like break, not because his feet were hurting, but because it was like, you know, he's stopping for like 10 minutes, 30 minutes. Hey, good morning, Nathan. Hope you had a good holiday. Or having a good holiday, I should say. To be honest, we all have different experiences, don't we, with cycling on the road. I mean, there's no doubt that infrastructure, particularly in the UK, is nowhere near good enough when you go to other countries, but also the psychology. You know, I think it's incredible. You know, when you ride in other places that are, I guess, more tolerant to the person on two wheels, it's amazing how the psychology changes. Just a super quick reminder, if you're here and you're enjoying the stream, hit that like button. Right then. Sorry, that must have been... Sorry, that might have been a bit loud. Right then. We've got 13 kilometers to go, everyone. It's game time. Well, not quite, but we're getting there. By the way, 100k subs for 2025. Well, at the rate we're growing, that'll be a struggle. I think this year we've actually grown slower than last year in terms of subscribers, I think. But there's a good reason for that, actually. There was an anomaly last year in that certain videos did extremely well, and this year we had less of that. So interestingly, the video that I posted 3 days ago, if you haven't seen that, the Zone 2 base training video, which is going over my first month of training this winter, I definitely recommend checking it out. But no, that has gained 65 subscribers in 3 days. And just for comparison, my British Hill Climb Championship video from this year has gained only 120 subscribers. And when you compare the differences in the video, of course, one is just I guess an insight video, and the other one is a video about, you know, a major competition. Now, granted, I didn't win, but there's a big difference. But also, curiously, because we have 25,000 subscribers, okay? Can you guess how many of the 25,000 of you that have subscribed watched that British Hill Climb Championship video? I'll give you 30 seconds to guess. Ten seconds to go. Okay, time is up. So, of the 25,000 subscribers that I've got, 23,000 watched that video. So only 2,000 people didn't watch it. Which tells me, actually, that the people that subscribe to this channel are very invested in the very niche things that I do. Now, you can compare that to like another video, for example, like, you know, the Mont Ventoux Gran Fondo, where I took the win, but that video's got the most, or nearly the most views of any video on this channel. It's about 60,000 views. No, not the Ventoux video. What am I talking about? I'm trying to think, which video was it? Who are those 2K? But anyway, long story short, that's very good. It means that, you know, the people that are subscribed haven't just subscribed, you know, just for the sake of subscribing. But the trick is to grow the subscriber number, but also keep those people engaged and watching. Like having, for argument's sake, 150,000 subscribers, but only 50,000 of them are watching the video. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah, so that's a good point, Kev, because actually diversifying is very important, of course. There's only a certain number of cyclists that are going to watch. Oh, thank you, Rob. That's very kind of you. Oh, that's amazing. Thank you. 4 years ago. Yeah. No, it's cool. It's cool to hear. Especially when things get tough. Which you might not think they do, but it does help pay the bills at the end of the day. So, just like any other responsibility. Oh. Should we finish again? Or the start, rather. Oh, Greg, so you're a fairly new viewer. That's cool. Hey, Christian. That is equally cool. Welcome along. Not long till we get to the final climb now. I tried to force a little split there. I thought that might have worked, given how the speed is a little bit lower along that section. But strong riders, wasn't going to catch him out like that. So we turn right now, so we're on a different section, and we're going to be going up a little climb now. Well, I say little, but it is fairly significant. And then we take on the proper climb. So it'll be interesting to see if anything happens up here now, folks. He says as he tightens his shoes. Try and recover as much as possible, because it's probably the last chance. So we're going to be taking a right, and this is going to get quite tasty. Oh, we're taking a left. And here we go. Ah, that's cool, Greg. That's really cool. Oh. Ah, yes, nice one. Thank you, Emma. Oh. getting a bit hot in here. Getting a lot of recovery here though. I think none of us really think we ought to be pushing on. But the French rider certainly wants to keep it rolling. That is the French flag, isn't it? I did history, I should know. Geography, rather. Well, that's not, is it? Just pulling your leg. Lol. Oh. Oh. Oh, that was tough at the end. Oh. Ooh. Who were the two riders? One of them was fourth, wasn't he? Who was the other rider? I can't remember now. What happened to them at the bottom of the climb? Maybe they'd that was their sort of tactic, was to get to the bottom of the climb, and then if they didn't get there with the gap, I don't think they exploded it, because it seemed like they were riding easier on the bottom of the climb than they were in the run up to it. I don't know. That's why I think they were trying to get a big enough gap, and when they got to the bottom and the gap wasn't that big, I think they just pulled the pin, maybe. I don't know. Oh, well, thank you, chat. Let's have a look at this graph quickly. Oh, I've come all the way back up the other side of the hill now. I didn't want to do that. Oh well, it is what it is. 308 on Toft. How did you pronounce on Toft? We're on Toft. Second fastest time up the KOM now, with just a second slower. So if we'd have both come up there together, that would have been a close battle. But just about got the split, so that I would be free. So there we go. There's the little surge. That was the first surge, and then that was the second surge right there, and then obviously the third surge was the climb to the finish. So yeah, that was perfect, actually, in terms of length, and it was only at the end where I had to go and do some high intensity, which is what I wanted to do today, which is good. Very good indeed. Nice one. Nice one. Well, there we go, chat. Thanks for joining in. Your company was most welcome. Thank you so much. And we'll be back in a couple of days' time, no doubt, for an evening Zwift race. So I will see you then. Have a good end to your weekend, and take care. Bye bye.